I love that idea, though. I love that idea of the accidental murder versus the intentional murder. Because it's like, to get back to the point of the show, which is the conflict between Israel and Palestine. It is...
Which, by the way, I hear is simmering up.
It's simmering up, Fred. But it is interesting how their defense is when Hamas attacks Israel and they want to kill people, it's an intentional thing. Like when they kill kids, a suicide bomber has wandered into a cafe and has looked around and been like, all right, there's like 15 kids here. Let's do it. We're going to explode everybody around me. But when Israel kills kids, it's like, that was a fucking accident, man. We didn't mean to do it. And somehow the accidental nature makes what they're doing less severe than the intentional nature. But it's really kind of even worse. Like if you're like a clumsy being wandering through the world, like constantly killing kids, that's fucked up. If like Israel was some giant that's like, I don't mean to do it, but the kids just keep dying. Oops. That's a fucked up giant. That's like, you should stop walking around, man.
In that Harmonian spirit of candor, I was just talking to my friend Raza, who I mentioned earlier, and this was Raza, about how I'm a Jewish person who's not super in love with Israel. I think Israel's anyway, but no,
we can edit that out later.
Right.
If you want.
No, it's fine. But no, well, the reason that maybe you should edit it out is that as I learned in my more provocative days when I used to get in arguments with everybody, it's an extremely like controversial. Like people feel very strongly.
You've never encountered anything like it ever before in your life.
And because of that, I've gotten to a place where I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. I'm not even reading the news about it because and
that fucking riddles me with guilt. Because I'm like, I said I'm out, and I don't even know what's going on.
There's this guy who tweeted something.
I got out because I was involved.
Well, you know,
I got out because it might somehow splash on me, which is the worst
That's
reason
terrible.
to get out of it.
You can't do that. You know, I tweeted this dumb, simple thing about how you shouldn't kill kids, and pretty soon somebody said it was just it wasn't based on any geography or religion. It was just like, too bad. Like in the 10 Commandments, they didn't say you shouldn't kill kids. Yeah. That was the tweet, and somebody really quickly was like, "Why do you hate Israel?"
Yeah. Well, which is very revealing in its own.
That's fucked up. Yeah. That's really dark. That's like that Israel is. If you say don't kill kids, people are like, man, you must hate the Jews.
Like something happened in the NBC had this reporter and he was out with reporters and he saw these kids and a bomb fell on these kids and blew them up. The guy was real close and then he was talking about it on the news like one might if they saw a bunch of kids explode 20 feet away, and he got pulled by his company out of the industry. That's insane. If you saw that happen, wouldn't you talk about it?
But
yes, you have to.
I don't feel like that's a political stance.
I've got this theory. I think I tweeted this and Spencer favorited it. That like 9 out of 10 times when there's passionate disagreement, I think people are having two different conversations. And I think that people who would be outraged by what we're saying and be like, oh shit, they're Nazis, their attitude would be this is not my attitude, by the way, but I think their attitude would be like the way we would feel if like a child murderer was gonna murder a child and then he got yelled at by the cops and was like, cops, man, they're always fucking like telling you what to do. And you're like, yes, but you're a child murderer. And from the perspective of the hardcore Israel people, which again, I am not, I think they're like, you cannot criticize Israel. You cannot. And it's because if you do, Holocaust 2.
Right.
I'll give
it's a slippery slope. Yeah.
And that's part of what
let's all be
drives me
reasonable.
nuts about
Let's all hold people to a higher standard and blah 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 blah.
Like,
and they're like, we've been through this, motherfucker. And it's very very passionate shit. Yeah.
I can defend. I read a great article defending what they're doing, and the argument is this. The idea is that so their argument is here we are, this peaceful place, and there are these terrorists who keep shooting missiles into our country.
That's how.
And we have this like advanced missile shield, but every one of the missiles we use to shoot down their missiles is like $50,000 or $100,000. It's very expensive. Sure, no one's dying over here, but if we didn't have this missile shield, all of our many people would be dying. So their argument is this: Hamas, terrorist organization that has said its number one goal is the complete destruction of Israel, and their strategy is to make it so that their weapon stores are placed underneath hospitals, underneath like the homes of families, so that if Israel tries to get rid of their weapons, they end up killing kids, and then that makes the world turn against Israel. So Israel is saying, don't you get it? Hamas is like orchestrating this entire situation so that it looks like we're killing kids when really all we're trying to do is get rid of weapons. Whereas the Palestinians' argument is, actually, we're stuck in this shitty situation where we can't leave when we want to leave. There's people in Palestine who watch Disney movies and Nickelodeon, and they just want to have a normal life, but because they're it's like basically if you lived in Atwater Village and like somebody and you were at war with Hollywood, and there were like people in Atwater Village who would launch missiles into Hollywood, and every time that happened, Hollywood would fly over and blow up half of Atwater Village. That's the situation. It's a really dark, shitty place. I just think that where you have to land and all the complication is just don't kill babies. Like if you can avoid killing babies,
I would agree with don't kill babies. Yeah.
That's it. Like that's the inarguable thing, right?
Oh, except if the conversation is about abortion.
Well, no, like, yeah.
In that case,
obviously,
let your freak flag fly.
Yeah.
I have a weird conundrum.
Because I'm going out tonight.
I don't want to steer the conversation. Or were you going to talk about this? Same situation?
You know, I was going to try to put a little ribbon on it, which is a brilliant idea for me. I'm going to put a ribbon on the fucking Middle East conflict.